What you'll learn in this video.
20 rare words that put your English in the top 1%, but only if you truly know them.
How a single blank can reveal the real depth of your vocabulary.
Whether you're just good at English or elite level fluent.
Why the final 5 questions stump almost everyone, even native speakers.
Okay, let's unpack this. You've shared a source. It's a YouTube video, right? And it makes a pretty bold claim. That knowing just 20 specific words could put your English in the top 1% worldwide. That's quite something.
It really grabs your attention, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the source, it uses a quiz format for these words. Challenging you, see if you know them. And the implication is if you do, you're in this, very select group.
Right, like a fill-in-the-blank thing.
Yeah.
With options.
Exactly. Multiple choice. You guess, then it tells you the word, the definition, and the full sentence. It's quite interactive.
Yeah, that sounds like a smart way to get learners involved.
Definitely. So for this deep dive, our mission, let's say, is to look at some of these words from the source.
Okay.
Explore what they mean, see them in context, just like the video does, but also maybe think a bit deeper about why these words. Why might they signal advanced vocabulary?
And what does knowing them really mean for your language journey? Is it just about the words or something more?
Precisely. We'll look at the words, sure, but also the idea behind the claim itself.
Right. What does knowing obloquy actually tell us about how good someone's English is overall? Okay, so let's get into it. Time to explore some interesting vocabulary and think about language mastery.
Sounds good.
So, the source kicks off with this challenge, saying only maybe 1 person in 100 knows all 20 words.
It directly links this specific vocabulary set to being top 1%, which is, a very simplified way to measure proficiency.
It definitely simplifies it, and the method is straightforward, as you said. Sentence, gap, fill it in.
Yeah, it's a test, but also a teaching moment, because you get the answer, the definition, the context, all right there.
And the source mentions the words get harder as you go.
That's what it claims, yes.
Yeah.
Tougher as we go along. So let's follow that. Start with some from the beginning. These might be ones you've seen, but maybe the nuance is key.
Okay, where do we start?
Well, the first one the source uses is deft. The example sentence was, with a blank flick of his wrist, the magician made the coin disappear.
With a deft flick. Okay? The definition given is skillful and quick.
Right. But deft, it feels different from just saying skillful or quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it implies a kind of smoothness, like an effortless skill almost. Nimble.
Exactly. That's a good word, nimble. It adds precision, a quality to the skill. It paints a better picture.
Okay, got it. What's next?
Next up in the source, candor. Example, the politician's blank when answering difficult questions earned him respect. Definition, straightforwardness and honesty.
Candor. The politician's candor. Interesting choice for a politician example.
Yeah.
It feels like more than just honesty. It's just being really frank, open, maybe even a bit blunt, but sincerely so.
Yes, it's about that direct, unvarnished quality, which, as you noted, can be quite noticeable. It describes a specific type of honesty.
Makes sense. Give us another early one.
All right, dawdle. Example, if you blank too long before starting your homework, you won't have time. Definition, to waste time by being slow or idle.
Dawdle. If you dawdle too long. I haven't heard that one much, but it sounds like what it means, like aimlessly pottering about.
It does, doesn't it? It's maybe more specific than just procrastinate. Procrastinate is delaying. Dawdle is more about the way you waste time, slowly, idly.
Right, the dawdling itself. Evocative. Okay, one more from the easier section.
Sure, blatant. The example, the company's blank attempt to cover up the environmental disaster. Definition, obvious to the point of being offensive.
Blatant attempt. Yeah, that's not just obvious. It's like shamelessly obvious. Offensively so.
Exactly. It implies they don't care if you see it or they don't care about the negative reaction. There's a judgment baked into the word blatant.
So these early words, they're maybe not super obscure, but they add precision, nuance, attitude.
I think that's right. They show how choosing a specific word over a more general one makes your communication sharper, more impactful. It's about finding the right word, not just a word.
And for you listening, noticing these differences, understanding why someone chose deft instead of skillful or blatant instead of obvious, that's part of developing a more advanced feel for the language.
Absolutely. It's about appreciating those subtle shades of meaning.
Okay, so the source says things get tougher now. We're moving in vocabulary that's probably less common in casual chat.
That seems to be the idea. More likely in writing, maybe academic stuff, or more formal speech, often words with Latin or Greek roots, or ones for abstract ideas.
Right. So let's look at some of these tougher ones from the source list.
Okay, first up from this section in the source is banal. Example, the speaker's blank observations were met with yawn and disinterest. Definition, unoriginal and boring.
Banal. Banal observation. So boring, but specifically boring because it's like cliched, predictable.
Exactly that. It's uninspired, lacking freshness. It's a more sophisticated way to say something is just dull because we've heard it all before.
Like tired old phrases. Okay, what else?
Coalesce. Example, the artist's vision began to blank as he combined different elements. Definition, to come together.
Coalesce. Began to coalesce. That sounds more active than just come together, like things are merging or fusing.
Yes, it suggests a process, different parts blending into a unified whole, often used for ideas or groups or even substances. There's a sense of formation.
Interesting. Formation. Okay, next.
Anathema. Example, Rachel is a dedicated vegan. Eating meat is blank to both her values and tastes. Definition, strongly disliked or opposed.
Anathema. Wow, that sounds strong. Eating meat is anathema. So not just disliked, but like fundamentally repellent.
Absolutely. It comes from a word related to curses or formal condemnation. It signifies a really deep level of opposition or revulsion. It's a powerful word.
You can really feel that strong opposition. Okay, keep them coming.
Sanguine. Example, the therapist's blank demeanor was instrumental in helping her patients remain hopeful. Definition, optimistic or positive.
Sanguine demeanor. So optimistic, but is there a specific flavor to it, like cheerful, confident?
Yeah, it often implies cheerful confidence, especially when things are tough, a kind of resilient hopefulness, steady, reassuring. It fits that therapist example perfectly.
A resilient optimism, got it. What about demure? Example, the lawyer blanked at the terms of the agreement, suggesting they were unfair. Definition, to raise doubts or objections.
Demure. The lawyer demurred. This one feels quite formal. It's like objecting, but politely, hesitantly.
Exactly. It's not a loud protest. It's raising an objection or expressing reluctance. Often quite carefully. You might hear it in negotiations.
A subtle way to disagree or question something. Okay, next is ersatz. Example, the supposed ancient artifact was merely a blank replica made for the tourist trade. Definition, artificial or an imitation.
Ersatz. An ersatz replica. So fake, but does it imply something else? Like a substitute, maybe a poor substitute?
Yes, precisely. Ersatz often carries that connotation of being an inferior substitute, something trying to be the real thing but falling short. It feels a bit disappointing.
Like a cheap knockoff. Okay, then there's chimera. Example, the philosopher's vision for a utopian society was dismissed by her critics as a blank. Definition, a goal or dream that's impossible to achieve.
Chimera. Dismissed as a chimera. This one comes from mythology, right? The mixed up creature.
Yeah.
So figuratively, it means something desired, like a dream or goal, but it's seen as impossible, illusory, just a fantasy. It's a strong way to dismiss an idea as completely unrealistic.
Like chasing a myth.
Okay.
Nearly there. Obloquy. Example, The airplane manufacturer's apparent disregard for passenger safety has earned it widespread blank. Definition: strong criticism or condemnation.
Obloquy. Widespread obloquy. It sounds very serious. Public disgrace. Harsh criticism.
Exactly. It's about severe public condemnation, censure, loss of reputation. It's a heavy word for when the public really turns against someone or something.
Definitely signifies major disapproval. And the last one from the source list we'll cover is lacuna. Example: the autobiography had a noticeable blank and left out crucial information. Definition: a missing part or gap in something.
Lacuna. A noticeable lacuna. So, a gap. Is it used for anything specific, like gaps in knowledge or texts?
Yes, very often used in more academic or formal contexts like that. A gap in a text, in evidence, in historical record. It points to something missing that you might expect to be there.
Okay, so looking back at these, especially the later ones, banal, coalesce, anathema, sanguine, demur, ersatz, chimera, obloquy, lacuna. Yeah, these are definitely less everyday words.
For sure. They're often quite specific, found more in writing or formal speech. Knowing them really does let you understand more complex material and express yourself with, well, more sophistication.
It allows for that precision we talk about.
Exactly. And for you learning English, tackling words like these helps you move beyond basic communication. You start being able to express more nuanced thoughts, subtle observations.
And the sources method, the fill in the blank, seeing it in context, that's actually helpful, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Context is everything. Just knowing a definition isn't enough. You need to see how it works in a sentence to really learn how to use it yourself.
And the source video also pointed out, didn't it, that just trying the quiz, just engaging with these words is valuable in itself, even if you didn't know many to start with.
That's a crucial point. It's not about getting a perfect score. It's about exposure. Every new word you encounter and understand, especially in context, builds your overall language ability. They're tools for your communication toolkit.
So we've looked at a bunch of these words from the source, some adding nuance like deft, others quite specific and formal like obloquy. They represent a kind of vocabulary that allows for more precise, maybe more sophisticated communication.
And grappling with vocabulary like this is definitely part of leveling up your English, moving from just functional to really expressive.
Which kind of brings us back full circle to that initial claim from the source, and maybe a final thought for you to consider.
Okay.
If knowing certain words is used as a benchmark for being top 1%, what does that really tell us about language mastery? Is it just about how many words you know?
Or is it maybe more about how effectively you use the words you do know? Your fluency, understanding context, adapting your language.
Right. What else defines being truly proficient, truly in that top tier of language users? It's something interesting to think about as you continue your own language learning journey.